Hey, Blue Rockers, Connie Willis here. Welcome to the show. Crypto Connie, actually, because this is BITSHARES Now. And once again with me, the Godfather of Bitshares, Stan Larimer. Yay! Hey, Stan, how are ya?
Doing great, Connie.
Well, I got a bunch of questions for you, and we're going to talk about totally BitShares here. Tell me, what's a BitShare?
Well, BitShare was kind of conceived as a component and ownership in a blockchain-based company, an unmanned company. And just like Bitcoin, we recognized was an unmanned company itself. I actually wrote an article in 2013 called Bitcoin and the Three Laws of Robotics. And there we talked about the fact that you could have more than a coin on a blockchain. You could have all kinds of different companies doing different things. And that's what Dan Larimer set out to build, was a smart coin factory and a currency exchange all on a blockchain. So BTS is just the base currency inside that, and that's what other coins are based on and trade in terms of.
So, but it is a coin?
Yeah, it's a coin just like Bitcoin, except that it's used to operate a much bigger company than Bitcoin.
Okay, so if I want to get BitShares, what is my procedure of getting some BitShares? What do I do?
Well, there's lots and lots of ways to get Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has sort of served as the standard with which all the other coins in the industry are purchased. So you have many ways that you can go get Bitcoin. But if you got Bitcoin, then there's some really slick ways to get it. I like to use blocktrades.us, which is a nice little website that you can go to, and it's got just two little pull-down menus. What do you want to spend, and what do you want to get back? And so you select Bitcoin, you select BitShares to get back. It'll say, okay, well, send your Bitcoin to this address and give me the address you want BitShares sent to. And so you fill in those two things and how much you want. Well, you don't even have to do that. Whatever you send it, it will convert from one currency to the other and send it back to you. So I set that up when I want to buy some BitShares. And then after that's set up, I just go to my Bitcoin wallet and I say, okay, here, have a Bitcoin. And a bunch of BitShares come back into my other wallet, and I do it again. And usually I start out by sending a tiny sliver of a Bitcoin just to make sure I got it set up right before I send a whole $6,000 Bitcoin.
Right.
I like to be a little careful, but those are the kind of things you learn to do when you're using it, is that every time you send a transaction, do a little baby one first. Even if I was going to pay you for a snow cone, I'd probably send you 5 cents first and say, Connie, did you get my 5 cents? Okay, great, then here's $2 for your snow cone.
Go ahead and try that with the $6,000. Just go ahead. Just give it a shot. I'll let you know how it goes. You can trust me. No, it didn't work, Stan. Well, okay, so I'm asking about how to buy BitShares, but you mentioned Bitcoins. Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned the Bitcoin wallet. So I'm confused. Do I get a BitShare wallet? Do I get a Bitcoin wallet? Do I get both? Do I get more? What as a beginner should I do to get started into this?
Well, at the BillionHeroCampaign.com, we've set up a way for beginners to get started easily. That's something that you go there, log on, and sign up, and it'll help you create a wallet, and it'll take care of all the details. You could use your credit card. Behind the scenes, it goes to various exchanges and takes care of the details of converting from your credit card into Bitcoin and then buying BitShares and then sending BitShares to your wallet. And all of that stuff, for a beginner, you just go there and it handles it for you. Then once you get a little more sophisticated and want a little more control of the steps, and maybe you want to shop around for better prices or whatever, it's always good to have a Bitcoin wallet to go with your BitShares wallet. And so you go to just Google Bitcoin wallet, and there's lots of good choices there. Very common old standby is called Bitcoin Core, and you download that, and it's just like a little app that you can run on your computer, and you turn that on, and that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, and that's really all it does. Then you can go to BitShares.org would be a good place to go and download your BitShares wallet. and now you got one of each, and you just open them like two apps on your computer, and that allows you to go to wherever you want to go to get your Bitcoin, and then use that to trade for BitShares. That's the way it works for most other currencies, simply because the companies that have the money transmitter licenses are, in general, only do it for a few currencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum, the ones that have the biggest market cap right now. And then once you've got one of those, you can go to any other exchange that doesn't have the special kind of licenses, and they allow you to trade for all the other coins that you may find out there. Now, a real good place to go is openledger.io or openledger.info. That is an exchange that's built on top of BitShares, and they provide the service of allowing you to directly buy any number of things. You can wire them some money, and then they'll send you into your BitShares wallet. They'll help you create the wallet, and they'll send and put whatever you want to buy when you purchase it. So that gives you the ability to directly buy BitShares and a bunch of other interesting digital currencies.
Okay, so once I have,
they don't take credit cards, so you have to wire money to them, and so that's with that one inconvenience of having to wait a few days for the legacy banking system to send and transmit the money, and that takes them several days. Once they does get to Open Ledger, then they can give you whatever coins you want. Now you can trade them in 3 seconds on the BitShares network.
Okay, so if I go to the
BillionHeroCampaign.com is something we're setting up to make it kind of a game, a fun to learn thing where you take little baby steps, and we try to make it as simple as possible for the new person to get started. You can go there right now and just simply get on our mailing list, and for doing that, you can get several free coins sent to you. And so that is a good way to get a little play money to try out without risking anything.
Right, and I have those links below, by the way, where you can get the Bitcoin or the coins for free. It's not Bitcoin, but where you can get some free coins to get started, like Stan has said. But also, but you're telling me that it also gets you into learning about the BitShare wallet, and we're building that website out, and so every week there'll be more features, more things to learn. Okay.
We're not going to be just focused on BitShares. We're certainly going to teach people how to get a Bitcoin wallet.
Okay.
Because that's sort of, everybody ought to have a Model T in their garage next to their Lamborghini. and so if you've got a Model T sitting there, a lot of places you can go with that haven't upgraded yet.
Okay.
But people that are, in the know in terms of what the best and strongest systems are will want to have a Lamborghini in there as well, and know how to use them both, because they each have benefits. The benefits of Bitcoin is because it was the first one to come along, it's accepted in more places like I just described. But if you want to have performance and be able to get someplace in 3 seconds instead of 3 hours, then you want to have that sports car too.
Right. And when he was talking about the Billionaire Hero Campaign, that's on another video you can find here in the playlist of Crypto Connie, so make sure you check that out if you haven't seen that yet. Stan gets into more detail there. Okay, so as a beginner, I have a Bitcoin wallet, I have a BitShares wallet. I mean, this is where I'm at least headed toward. I'm on Steemit as well, doing the similar to Facebook kind of thing, the social media platform, and making money that way, which is Steem currency. And I'm doing it without putting any money down. I could if I want, but I build up my Steem power just through upvoting people, which is liking people, and putting content up and other people liking my content. And from there, I can build up my Steem power, which gives me more of a voting power where I can give people, if I like their content, I can upvote them and give them some money. And the more steam power I have, the more money I can give them. And I can also upvote myself. I mean, there's some people that are upvoting. I'm like at 0.02 cents right now, I guess is how you would say that. But there are people giving $400, even $1,500, right? Am I wrong? When they vote somebody, they can vote themselves and just keep taking care of themselves.
There are some people on the Steemit network who have accumulated vast amount of steam power, one way or another, and they sort of swim around and they're called whales.
Yeah.
And there are good whales and there are bad whales, and that's part of the game, I guess, is to steer clear of the bad whales. There are a few people that let the power of having that extra wealth go to their head, and they get some pleasure of going around and downvoting people.
That's terrible.
And it's sad, but that's what the world is like, right? We have terrorists, and these guys are the effective terrorists of the Steemit community. But then there are benevolent whales that go around looking for really good content and to encourage new people coming along, and they come along and bless you with a vote, and suddenly you find, wow, I just jumped by $100.
Oh yeah, it's so nice. I mean, it's so fun to go back and forth throughout your day looking to see how your post did. It's really cool. So anyway, these are some of the ways as a beginner to start getting some currency going for yourself and how to set it up. So now, do I need Coinbase as well? Is that something that I need?
I have never used Coinbase. Okay, so the answer is no, you don't need Coinbase. Okay, but a lot of people find it nice because they're one of the very few companies that will let you buy a small amount with a credit card. Normally, most places don't want to do that because credit cards companies have this nasty habit of doing something called clawback, which they will basically take the money that you were supposed to get back out of your account if there's a complaint from the buyer. And so a buyer could do its dirty trick of saying, here's my credit card, send me some Bitcoin. Thank you for the Bitcoin. Well, that's an irreversible transaction. Sending Bitcoin to somebody can't be reversed by anybody. But credit card transactions can be. So sometimes someone comes and says, I didn't get my Bitcoin. And the credit card companies, they don't know better, so they just cancel the transaction, take the money back. And guess what? The Coinbase in that case would be stuck with the fact of having given somebody a Bitcoin and didn't get the money because the credit card companies don't play fair.
Yikes.
So that they apparently have some kind of a insurance policy or something against that, or maybe they just charge extra so that it's built into their price. However they do it, it's a nice little service for people who want to use a credit card. A lot of other places, the one I like to use is called Bitstamp, and that's a nice exchange that you operate like a bank account. You wire money to them, and now you can buy Bitcoin and a couple other currencies. And you can trade Bitcoin back and forth between dollars and Bitcoin.
Well, isn't that what the BitShares wallet is for, to do what you're just talking about Bitstamp does?
Yeah. The difference is BitShares is decentralized, so it doesn't have the man in the middle, whereas Bitstamp is just a company and you're talking to one server and you're at the mercy of Bitstamp maintaining its reputation, which is pretty good.
Okay.
But if they ever get hacked, and they have been hacked before, then there's a chance that they could go bankrupt and you wouldn't get your money. Now, so far, the hacking that happened to them, they made good on, and so nothing bad happened. So that's the positive side of being a decentralized exchange. But as a decentralized exchange, you don't have a way to take wiring money from some bank. And that's what the service Bitstamp adds to it, is they, as an ordinary company, can have money wired into their bank account, and then they'll send you the Bitcoin. And now with the Bitcoin, you can go places and buy BitShares. Once you've got BitShares, you can no longer need anybody, because that exchange will let you trade against all kinds of different interesting and exciting assets.
Okay. Well, if you can do all that in BitShares wallet, why are you using Bitstamp?
Because the one thing the BitShares wallet can't do is have a bank account. So it can't take wiring to it directly, right? You've got to have some other company with a bank account that will do that, and with the licenses to do money transmission and so on.
Okay.
And so anytime you're going to and from what we call fiat, and that's just a government currency like the dollar or the euro or so on. Anytime you're going into a government currency, governments have rules, and they need a company to be accountable to follow those rules. And so since BitShares is an unmanned company that has the benefits that governments can't order them to do things that they shouldn't do, and some governments do that. They seize people's funds when it's in an ordinary bank account. Inside Bitcoin or BitShares, there's no way to seize somebody's accounts, so you get that extra level of freedom. But the one thing you still don't have is the licenses and the bank account that you need to wire dollars or euros to it. So there will always be that interface to the old system run by banks or companies like Bitstamp.
Okay, so with BitShares Wallet, I can make it, and it already is, like my own checking and savings account, but I cannot go from a banking, checking or savings account from a bank directly onto BitShares Wallet. I have to go, like with Bitstamp, to do that, and then I can get it to my BitShares Wallet. But once I get into my BitShare Wallet, what are all the things that I can do with it? I can act as a banking and checking. I think you mentioned there was like a debit kind of card too. Is that right?
Well, okay, let's split those three. That's three questions in one.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'm seeing how quick you are there, Stan. Just seeing how quick you are.
The one question is, what are all the things you can do with it? Well, you can trade for anything that is native on the network. And so anything that was made by the BitShares Smart Coin Factory, and there's a lot of interesting, exciting products that we can talk about that different companies create an issue on there and that trade that are good for, some are backed by gold and some are backed by stock in some company, and some are backed by somebody's promise to give you a service or a product in exchange for the coin. So lots of interesting coins, and there's a lot of play coins. Some student in some high school somewhere makes a toy coin, and it's on there too. But usually the ones that are most popular bubble to the top and are featured. So all the other little play money just sort of filters out of sight. You don't have to look at it while you're doing serious work with the system. But it's a fair system that lets everybody do things. And then any of those coins, you can see whatever kind of coin you have. You could have a long list of different coin types, all inside your account. And then from that account, you can tell it, I want to send to Connie a fast Cass. That's a guy named Cass created a coin that said, I will give these out very rarely, and it's good for 1 hour of my consulting time. And if you've got a fast Cass and you send it to me, I'll drop whatever I'm working on and work for you for 1 hour. So that's how he made a special kind of value. But I could send you a fast Cass coin, or I could send you a BitShare. BTS is the symbol for it, just like USD is the symbol for the dollar. So BTS is the symbol for BitShares base currency. And then there's the hero, and there's all kinds of coins. I just select the coin type and the amount of it I want and type in Connie, and boom, 3 seconds later, it shows up in your account.
Okay, so we can constantly talk with each other with the BitShares. What else will that wallet do for me? Well, who is going to get the BitShares wallet? Who is your audience?
Well, the main BitShares wallet that everybody gets is the big official one that does everything. And there's a whole lot of businesses that don't need to do everything. I mean, what I just described for you, there's a screen that comes up that shows your account, what's in it, and who you sent stuff to. So it's a list of all your past transactions. And it gives you a little dialogue where you can tell it who to send what to. And that's all there is to that wallet. But if you hit another tab, up comes a full-up trading screen.
Yeah, that's intimidating, by the way.
Yeah, but of course, people who want to trade stuff are people who help set and determine the price and whether it's going up or down. So having that kind of trading capability, not everybody has to use it, but for people who do, they provide a lot of the skill and the resources and the market depth and the liquidity that makes everything else work. So
and I like that it's there. It's cool. It's cool. It's like, wow, this is really happening. You see it in real time doing its thing, right? I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, and you find that on typical centralized exchanges. There'll be one like that on Bitstamp, and one on Poloniex, and one on Bittrex, and a lot of the other main exchanges have that kind of thing. And so yeah, BitShares has one of those built in too. Then there's other screens that allow you to manage your passwords and control who else is allowed to use your account, because an account can have, you could put one of your relatives on your account with you and give that relative permission to do everything you can do, or just a limited set. Or you could, if you had multiple children, you could say any 2 out of my 5 children can come along and approve a transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole screen for managing that kind of stuff. And there's other screens that give you access, like built right into it, is access to certain features from the Open Ledger exchange and also from the blocktrades.us exchange, built right into the wallet, so you don't have to go anywhere else in order to access those outside services. And I guess one other screen that's kind of neat is a screen where you can take some of your BitShares and lock them up in a basically an escrow as collateral, just like you'd take your deed to your house down to the bank and say, hey, I'd like to take out a home equity loan. Well, you can take out a BitShares equity loan from the system by locking up some BitShares, so they're still in there. And if you think BitShares is going to grow in value, then you don't want to spend any of them, but you can get access to some of your spending power by borrowing a hero or a dollar or a euro or a yuan or gold or silver, a number of different smart coins that are essentially borrowed into existence by putting up collateral like a home equity loan. And now you can spend some of your cash. You can have your cake and eat it too, Connie.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So can I actually take my BitShares and then buy Bitcoins against it with like the home equity loan kind of thing?
Well, it wouldn't be using the home equity loan. You'd go to that trading interface, which you could either use the full up fancy one that scares you, or you could use the one from BlockTrades, which is just a nice little menu of, I want to trade my BitShares for Bitcoin.
No, I mean like the home equity loan thing where I see, I'm terrible at this. This is why I'm trying to get every detail from you. When I borrow against my own money,
mm-hmm.
right? Can I borrow against my own money and buy Bitcoins?
Yes.
I guess it doesn't matter whatever I do with my money. It doesn't matter, right? I'm just borrowing against it.
Yeah, there's 2 different steps that you could do there, okay? If I borrowed from my money into any one of the standard things that are offered, and there's things called BitUSD and BitEuro and BitYuan and BitBTC, and BitBTC is a place where you could borrow something that tracks the value of a Bitcoin. And any one of those things could be traded then for something else in one of the markets. So I could borrow one thing and trade it for something else. A lot of flexibility there.
Right. And I still think I'm not asking you properly. Okay, where you said, like I could borrow up against my home with the home equity loan.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so that's what I'm asking.
Well, BitShares will allow any type of coin to be defined where one coin is backed by another coin on the system in any combination. Not all those combinations exist.
Mm-hmm.
To exist, somebody has to create them based upon some business model they want. So they go in and they pay the fee to make one of these things because they think it'll be a popular coin. There's some that are built in, like the ones for the major government currencies are built in. The one for gold and silver and Bitcoin are built in. But the one for the hero, for example, was created by the BitShares Foundation members. And it was done after the fact by going in and paying a fee and saying we want to create this kind of coin, and getting everybody, a few people to publish the price feeds that define what the hero is worth. A little bit of technical stuff that the average user doesn't have to deal with.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to create a new coin, people have to do technical stuff.
Right.
But once that technical stuff has been done, then it's available for the average user to manipulate. And once you get a hero created by somebody who's a trading type person, the average citizen doesn't have to think about that. They just buy and sell heroes or buy and sell BitUSD.
Which I think that's cool. I still don't think I'm asking it properly, because I remember either it was on a video that your son did or somebody did where they said, okay, let's say I have $5,000 worth of BitShares and I want to borrow against that. Mm-hmm. I can actually pull out $4,000 of it, but it still is in there because I'm just borrowing against it.
Yes, and anybody can do that, and you shouldn't.
Why not?
Well, because you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so there's a difference between somebody who borrows money into existence, who is willing to take the benefits that produces and is aware of the risks of doing that. And if you go look at my blog on Steemit, there's a place where I have a little article. It's been a few months since I wrote it, called "Taking Heroic Risks," and that outlines for you the different things that can go wrong and why you'd better be pretty much an expert before you start borrowing a lot of those coins into existence. Okay, because the system, it's a zero-sum game. As long as you've got enough collateral to back your loan, that's great. But think of it this way. If you're going to take out a home equity loan in a housing market in Detroit that's collapsing, okay, and so you had a house that was worth $100,000 and you went and you borrowed $80,000 against it, and then the housing market collapses, what's going to happen is that if you want to sell your house, you're not going to get enough money to pay off your loan. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And so that kind of thing can happen if you borrow against your BitShares and the market takes a downturn. You could find yourself in a situation where the system says, sorry, you don't have enough collateral anymore to back this coin. I'm going to call your loan, and that means I'm going to take that collateral and pay off your loan. And that means it's a very inopportune time for that. You could lose money doing that. And so the person who has the coin, the hero or the BitUSD, is protected by the system. They will always get the full value they're supposed to get. But the person who borrowed it into existence is the one who agreed to take the risk in order to get the benefit. And so as an ordinary person, like a retired person, yeah, go ahead and buy a BitShare or a hero or a BitUSD. Buy those things because they're a nice, safe thing to hold, safer than most anything else in even the U.S. dollar, because U.S. dollar can certainly collapse and may well do so next year.
Yikes. Well, can my BitShares collapse?
Anything can collapse. Anything. Nothing is totally risk-free. But comparably, digital currencies offer a different mix of risks. Different kinds of things can go wrong. And you shouldn't put all your money in any one thing. Mm-hmm. But in general, one of the most secure things you can put it into is one of these smart coins, because they're guaranteed to always track the value they're supposed to have. And so if you're an ordinary person, don't want to have a too complicated life, you can go on the market and buy a hero and have it grow by 5% over a period of a year and cash it out for that and sleep well at night. If you're an aggressive person who understands what you're doing, then you can start bringing more into existence, and that could be a way for you to make money, but it's a way to lose money too.
And you've been watching BitShares Now with Connie Willis, Crypto Connie, and also the Godfather of Bitshares, that's Stan Larimer. And if you have not gotten your BitShares wallet, go ahead and look at the links below. You can also get the free coins as well by getting into the Billionaire Hero campaign. And I guess, the Steam It link is also down there. Follow me so you can make some money that way too. Everything's in the description below. More coming at you with Crypto Connie here on Blue Rock Talk in the future.
3,